You just finished with your early decision or early action school. Oh my goodness, congratulations. But then, wait, no me digas. You have like 20 more schools to apply to. Oh my goodness, what are you to do? Let's talk about it because you don't have as much work remaining as you think you do, but you still gotta plot it out correctly so you can actually get it done. So, what are you to do? You're done. First, take a rest. Oh my goodness. Like I said, you don't have that much work left, but you have some. So it's important to make sure you have the energy for it. Especially for writing. Oh my goodness. Writing when you're low energy, when your creative energies have been tapped, it's just not going to turn out very well. So take a few days at least, if not a week. Taking a step back for your writing is also really important and helpful for step 2 because you're going to have to look at your writing again and think about recycling. So let me explain this. You should gather your remaining prompts. Look at all the schools you're applying to regular decision. I'm going to be honest, you shouldn't be applying to more than 12 to 15. I mean, if you want to be crazy and apply to 30, you can. Nobody's going to stop you, but just thinking about your mental health, this is a good number. Especially if you're trying to get financial aid or scholarships, applying to more makes sense. Just consider that the more you apply to, the quality of your writing at some point is probably going to decrease. So you might want to be focusing on quality rather than quantity. However, what you have to do, gather all your remaining prompts from all your schools. Go to the Common App, just copy and paste them into a document. And then you're going to identify areas that you can recycle from the supplements you've already done. If you can't recycle, you might be able to see, oh, these two schools like UT Austin and UVA, pretty similar this year on essay number 3. You figure out what it is, and then you can basically count that as one essay because you're going to make a list of all these prompts and essays that you have to do. So if you know that the UVA, for example, UVA UT Austin one is 1, instead of having it as 1 and 2, you just put it as 1. That way you know. And you have a better idea of your workflow so you can organize it moving forward. So yes, you're also going to identify what you can recycle from your supplementals. And this is why taking a break from your writing is good because it's going to be really painful to have to look at a supplement that you've already submitted and most likely edit it. You're always going to catch something. Every time you return to your writing, you're always going to catch something that you wish you had caught before and you're going to wish you'd have changed it. It's going to be really painful. Just trust me. Just know it's going to happen, okay? You can't avoid it. It happens to everyone. So taking a step back is good because then you can actually think about recycling and you can think about improving. Don't be afraid to improve what you already submitted. You already submitted it. You improving it now does not change the fact that you submitted it, so just improve it. Even if you have to face the fact that you made a few mistakes. It happens, this is normal. Okay, and then you're also gonna think about new. What is totally new and totally independent that you cannot recycle? That's gonna be here. A lot of schools have a fair amount of overlap. The ones that don't, MIT is a big one, UChicago, and then if you're applying to any specialties like business or foreign service, like at Georgetown, for example, these are typically pretty unique, unfortunately. UChicago's, I love the UChicago essays, but they are pretty unique. So once you have all these new essays, you're going to plan out a writing schedule with new deadlines. I'm going to say you should be thinking about how much you want to spend per week on writing. I'd say 7 to 10 hours. Depends on how many schools you're applying to. If you're applying to 12 to 15, you could probably get away with like 5. Honestly, it shouldn't take you that long, especially because even if you can't recycle entirely, you can probably recycle a bit, right? From these into the new ones, like conceptually or like language. Language is a big one. If you have a few phrases or sentences that you got down about yourself, about what you want to study and other essays, just put them into the new ones. This is also just generally, I mean, I feel like you probably know this, but just in case, like school-specific essays are the easiest thing. Like the why school, like why MIT. These are the easiest essays to recycle. They're so easy. Just get a flow, introduce yourself and what you want to study. Here's the major. Here are the professors. Here's a program, whatever. And then you have these filler in between that just like link these like content. This is the school specific content in these circles. This stuff is all recyclable. So you have the flow down, which is the hardest part. All you have to do is look and be like, okay, I know I want to do research. Which lab am I going to do it at here? You know what I mean? So you're only changing this stuff. So that it's like you have a nice little house and you're just changing the furniture inside. Isn't that so much easier than building like 10 new houses? Sometimes, so I review supplemental essays as well as personal statements. You just have to email me because it's like custom pricing because there's different word counts and whatever. But so many times people will send me like 5 school specific essays and their framework is different for every single one. I'm like, why did you do that to yourself? It's just not a good idea. And not that's not a good idea. Just think about it. Just recycle. So anyway, so that's why you can probably get away with like 5 hours a week. Don't do more than 10. If you're doing more than 10, you're applying to too many. Wait, plan out your new schedule. There are 2 approaches. You can focus on when the schools are due. Some have mid-December, early December, especially if you're applying for financial aid or merit scholarships. USC, for example, if you want to be considered for a merit scholarship there, I think you have to apply in early December. You focus on preferred schools. So the deadline one is helpful. When schools are due one is good if you are confident in your energy levels, if you are confident that you can do all the work and that it really is just a matter of scheduling, focus on when the schools are due. That way, if you fall a little behind, at least the schools that are due, you've already done. Some of you, though, might be more like me, and you might run out of energy, and you don't really know when you're going to run out of energy. It just happens. If you're like that, I would make a list of all the schools you're applying to, mix in safeties and reaches into this list. What you could even do is have one reach, target, safety, and have a few blocks of these reach, target, and safety, and then put them all in a row from like most, want, apply to least. We're just gonna make this little area for my new diagram. And then you list them out in order of priority. Just make sure that you're mixing in targets and reaches because you don't want to, and safeties, because you don't want to only be applying to reaches. But if you do that and you run out of energy, then you don't really care, right? Because it's like, oh no, now I can't apply to Vassar, which I didn't want to go to anyway. That's totally fine. That's also where I would put the schools that you are kind of, some of you might be being forced to apply to schools that you don't really want to apply to or go to by your family. Put that at the end because you don't really care if you don't get in, right? You just want to apply to make them happy. So put that at the end. So when you have less energy, those are the essays you're writing because then you don't really care if they don't turn out that good. So again, both of these approaches have their benefits and drawbacks. Just think about what's going to work best for you. Just impose kind of a random deadline for yourself and just say, I'm going to have these all done by December 10th. I don't really care when they're due. I don't want to deal with all these different outlines. Just give yourself December 10th. And that's it. That's what I did. And that's what a lot of my students do because it can be so stressful to have all these calendars with all these different due dates, blah, 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 blah. No, I reject that. I have one due date. It is December 10th. Very easy to keep track of, very easy to have in your mind. Next thing you have to do is stay strong in school. Semester grades, very important senior year. Very important. Very important. Keep your grades high. That's all for today. Sorry it took me so long to get this video out. I had a lot of work recently, so thank you for everyone who's worked with me. Obviously, fantastic to meet you all. I've met a lot of you. It's been really fun. What type of topics to do moving forward? If you have any ideas, let me know, especially because I can't really tell how many of you are current seniors applying right now and how many of you are going to be applying next year and the year after, which kind of changes the content that might be helpful for you. So please feel free to leave a comment telling me what year you are or what year you might be applying to college and what would be helpful for you at this point, because I kind of don't know. So feel free to help me out and let me know because I'm monetized now. So I just need views. I'll do whatever you want. Please don't take that out of context. That sounds kind of wild. Anyway, I'll see you all next time.